Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Counselor's Office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. Scholars, we've been having a great time this Saturday. I'm doing a bunch of recordings. We're going to be watching Bellular News. I really like this guy. He does news and covers it really well. He also breaks down things in a very genuine way, very great at how he presents information. I could only ever hope to do this, but I'm way too all over the place to do what he does. If you ever see my content, you know that I have my highs, I have my lows, and I'm always laughing. So it's less, there's some serious moments, but not always. But we are going to watch a video called "We've Reached a New Level of Desperation." And you got to know it's about our friendly neighbor company, Bungie. You know, they love their community.
Today, I have absolutely amazing groundbreaking news. Are you excited for a new type of licensed purchase opportunity? Because ladies and gentlemen, that's what we've got. Today, we are going beyond cosmetics, beyond skins and art crossovers. Today, we get to talk about a whole new type of fear. The idea that entire content blocks of your favorite video games could indeed be replaced with brands, with licensed properties. Because, you know, the line must go up. Money's money. It's got to go up at all costs, and when it comes to games like Destiny, I think there's no question as to what's the most important thing to the leadership. I've also got big news for the thousands of you who have visited and used our sponsor, boot.dev, and that news is TypeScript. If you know what that means, you know it's pretty huge. The entire backend learning path is now playable in TypeScript.
Build a Pokedex? What?
It's funny, Lane, the founder's tweet, basically just reads, "Fine, you win. We've capitulated to the way of soy because enums." And if you're wondering why you should care,
I have no idea what's being talked about here.
Is Microsoft's vastly more powerful JavaScript, static types, fearless refactors, editor auto-completion, lots of lovely things, which is why Google, Slack, and Airbnb use it in production. It lets you catch bugs while you're coding instead of, you know, when the server's on fire. TypeScript's awesome. Now, boot.dev wraps all of that in the power of an RPG. That means quests, XP, boss fights, real-time boards, community, all of that. You get to enjoy that while you're wiring up databases, building REST APIs, deploying to the cloud.
Wait, okay, so I know this has nothing to do with the video, but they made something to help you, but they turned it into a video game at the same time. Like, it's like a challenge. It's really weird, but kind of cool, but really weird.
And now doing all that with TypeScript. And by the time you finish your learning path, you will have a portfolio full of backend projects. You'll have the confidence
I got the achievement.
TypeScript and go in any gig, which is going to.
What if they made that in real life? Like you go shopping, you get an achievement on your phone. Like, you got an achievement. You just pick up celery. It just turned life into a video game.
Huge for employers. And there's a bit of a hack to save you the most money. Boot.dev/Bellular News, code Bellular News gets you 25% off with your first purchase. But what you can do is buy the yearly plan for the largest saving, because, you know, 25% of a bigger number is a bigger number. And if you don't gel with it, well, just use the no-risk 30-day money-back guarantee. So we should.
I like his intro. His intro is pretty cool.
New plan, but, you know, it's Bungie. They can't catch a break. Their leadership has gutted the company. Marathon's reveal hasn't really gone as planned.
Can I just talk about, like, it's funny that he introduced the trailer with feet. What is it with the Destiny community and the feet? Like, it just is so weird.
Marathon's reveal hasn't really gone as planned, and now Destiny has got to try and refocus again. The final shape was a triumph. That was followed by layoffs, and the remaining team had to deliver what was in production before they could reset. Okay, this is the Fate Saga. It's the new thing. It's focused on the mysteries of the universe and the beings who influence it. As for all that means for players,
this is supposed to be like the reset without being a reset, and I don't think it's a reset. Like, this is definitely not Destiny 3.
Players outside of the lore sphere, it means 4 expansions on a winter-summer cycle, with the Edge of Fate launching soon. There's gameplay changes already being discussed, which have got like a moving raid-style puzzle thing, which is pretty damn cool, actually. Updates to regular gameplay, new world tiers for loot, and a general reduction in friction so that people can get straight to activities.
I just want to point out that I was overly negative this. I just want to say right now, when it comes to this the expansion, I thought my biggest praise is that they're actually re-innovating the factions. I think that I think the rest of it is not as exciting. I'm more excited for the free stuff than I am the expansion, but I'm glad that the factions are getting love, kind of like how Taken got love in episode Heresy. This is the stuff you need to do to reinvent the game a little bit, is actually do something different.
And between paid expansions, a free major update for all players will be released. And those will be at the scale of the actually much appreciated Into the Light event. But that's what Bungie wants us to talk about. We can't really talk about that all in the depth that they would want, because despite an hour-long reveal stream for the future of Destiny, the only thing anyone can talk about is the last reveal of the showcase.
Renegades.
And, well, what's happening a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. This is the Renegade expansion for Destiny 2. Things you'll immediately notice: the sound effects from Star Wars, the weapons that are very explicitly a blaster and a lightsaber,
very
and,
explicit.
the big Lucasfilm Games
There is no inspiration. Those are literally what they are.
Logo at the end of the trailer. And for some people, that's just cool. It's a chance to play out their fantasies in a universe that they really like and see some familiar weapons and familiar...
I will say that General Grievous fits much better in the Destiny aesthetic because we have Vex. But then you see this and you are immediately like, yeah, no, this as badass as you think this just breaks all fucking immersion. Like, what game am I fucking playing?
Tools, but if you ask me, the only familiar tools are Bungie. So as for other people, which probably...
Fucking sideline burn. I was not expecting that. Dude, I wish I was that good with claps. Clap those cheeks. Oh, that was beautifully executed.
Only familiar tools are Bungie. So as for other people, which probably includes me, well, maybe a little bit on edge. I mean, what do you mean that they're putting Star Wars in Destiny?
Exactly.
A whole expansion, not an event, not just a drop in the store.
Exactly.
A situation where everything Destiny could be exploring in its lore and its gameplay is somehow being replaced with an entirely different universe.
Yeah, this is not a inspiration. None of this is literally almost a 1-for-1. That's the difference. You look at all the previous stuff where it's obviously inspired, but it's not 1-for-1. This is 1-for-1. Like, you can't make it up. This is a stormtrooper.
For a lot of people, that idea is really disappointing, and there are a lot of diehard people who love Destiny for its story and its lore. Just look at Biff's viewership figures.
Biff's.
I mean, come on.
He's not the only one that calls them Biffs. It's Bife.
People love that shit. And so if you're going from an expansion where players are digging deep into the foundations of the universe and then straight to Star Wars, that's an immediate shock. But it may not be as bad as was first implied. The stream went into more depth on all this, but the detail didn't really travel as far as the standalone trailer did. Because as it turns out, this is not a Star Wars expansion for Destiny 2.
It's inspiration.
Is a Star Wars inspired expansion for Destiny 2.
Which is still bad, by the way.
Officially inspired expansion. It's really strange. So Bungie have been pretty clear about what the expansion looks like, and here's their statement. Dive into the criminal underworld and take down an evil empire. Venture into a lawless frontier and reveal deeper mysteries about a new Dredgen in Soul. Build your power, credits, and notoriety. Ooh, I just love some marketing copy for a video game. So that's how they're framing this, and senior leadership at Bungie have been very quick to reinforce that framing. They basically know that they need to counter the building narrative. That it's the aesthetic tone and vibe of Star Wars, but it's a Destiny story, which I suppose is one of life's small mercies. I guess, though, the idea that the first full year of Bungie's new era for Destiny 2 would end up with something like a crossover instead of something for Destiny, that does feel cheap. I think that would be a step.
I think it makes it much more clear when you find out they're stealing content, like art from Marathon, and that they are actually becoming creatively bankrupt. They're losing ideas of what to do. And that's what it looks is, hey, we're running out of ideas. We don't know what to do for Destiny anymore. So we're just going to start taking it. It's the Fortnite-ification, but also kind of like the Hasbro Magic the Gathering, where Magic the Gathering is doing the same thing, where they're doing Universes Beyond, where almost like 80% of the new cards are now IPs that aren't Magic the Gathering. And that's the big problem, is that you have companies that are trying to push out content constantly. They can't keep up with the creativity of coming up with narratives. Like how this makes it say, hey, we can kind of follow the line and story of like Star Wars, but in Destiny, whereas this is an entirely new story that we've made from scratch. This is not made from scratch. This is following the style inspiration of Star Wars. I mean, even just the call of what it was, just taking down an evil empire. Like, okay, that's definitely got Star Wars written all over it. Whereas it's got some calls to like Metrovania and stuff like that, which is okay. Or the point I'm trying to say before I start fumbling over myself like a doorknob is that you're seeing creative bankruptcy happening here. And that's what people are seeing. You can't change that perspective from the wider gaming community.
Too far, because it's not like Destiny hasn't been influenced by other media before, or hasn't made wholehearted
Dirty Sanchez, yes, the Witcher armor was inspiration. It definitely had like the one for one Witcher like wolf kind of ish, but it was still an inspiration. It was in the Destiny world. It wasn't a one. You didn't have Geralt, right? It wasn't Geralt running around.
References to things, but there is a difference.
Like this,
right?
Assassin's Creed.
That's fun. That's cute.
But it's not one for one.
Licensed partnership, so it is deeper than that. And so it's one thing to have an armor shader and combine sets that make you look like Darth Vader, but it's an entirely different thing to have Darth Vader's armor and play as him in game.
Exactly.
And the timing could not be worse overall for vibes, positioning, copium, all of that, because it's never been easier to compare Destiny to the other live service games. Right now, you can pre-order the big deluxe edition of Destiny 2's new expansion, and you can get skins for Kylo Ren, Darth Vader, and General Grievous. But do you know where else you can play those characters right now?
They released this at the worst fucking time, because the argument that they are copying Fortnite, literally Fortnite's like, hey, we're doing the Star Wars season. And then they're like, hey, we're doing the Star Wars like expansion. And people are like, okay, so tell me in this picture, what's the difference? Which one's Destiny and which one's Fortnite?
Can do it in Fortnite. Of course, Fortnite has actually just went and replaced an entire season of content with Star Wars. Star Wars everywhere. The map, the loot pool, the battle passes, and lots of the gameplay. It's all Star Wars.
That's funny.
It's basically giving people a big Star Wars theme park to play about in, which I guess for Fortnite makes sense. That's kind of like its USP by now. But what's core to today's story is that it's...
I think it works for Fortnite because it's supposed to be a kid's game, right? This is advertised as a kid's game. It's silly, it's goofy, it's just a battle royale. There's story, but it is meant to be a PvP only game, right? It's not about PvE. There's no like Destiny campaign like style lore, right?
In that context that Bungie had to reveal Renegades, so it's no wonder that audiences immediately made the connection there. It's quite literally the Fortniteification of Destiny, and it's not like Destiny was immune to crossovers before. They've been throwing out licensed skins for years at this point.
Inspirations though.
Because that game is Fortnite, and Fortnite has an army of artists making some of the most aesthetically, I think, well tied in cosmetics that games have really ever had, it looks and plays great. Meanwhile though, for Bungie, their artists have had to blend Destiny's aesthetics with Star Wars, and that means you get a
I like how blending, it's not blending.
Compromise. It can look great, and it probably will end up adding some good components for Destiny's fashion-forward players, but it is a compromise nonetheless. It is Destiny being less...
Yeah, tell me that this isn't jarring. You're seeing a stormtrooper with a Destiny weapon. This seems so out of place, dude.
Destiny, and in a way that's not a random bolt-on event, no, in a way that actually is like the core canon content. Now this is not a new feeling, but it's one that we've been seeing more and more from more players as licensing really does become the lucrative thing for companies. Because, make no mistake, this is all about the money and it being lucrative. Now we don't know the deals of this partnership, but...
By the way, this is a good shout because people have been complaining about Call of Duty doing the same thing. Like people are upset that you got Nicki Minaj with her big cheeks coming around the corner, clapping people's cheeks in game. Like there is a lot that people are not happy about when it comes to the Fortniteification of video games. Like people have had it.
Usually, licenses are paid for by the person who's using them. So how does Bungie make money in this partnership? Because in theory, this expansion can reach, a wider audience than just Destiny fans, especially it can give lapsed people a reason to check back in. Maybe they played it at some point, they like Star Wars, and now feels like a good time. It's the same thing that every game sort of does now, right? From your Helldivers to Diablo to Overwatch.
Yeah, but look at this, the aesthetics though. Look at this.
It's the same thing that every game.
This matches the style of Helldivers. Like, Helldivers is a badass game where you hop in, you kill, you're just fighting, killing shit. Like, this aesthetically it works.
Sort of does now, right? From your Helldivers to Diablo to Overwatch. The point is, your addressable audience goes up.
By the way, you comparing this to the idea that Overwatch is not doing good. It is not doing good. Comparing it at all to what Overwatch is doing. Overwatch is killing itself. It's losing against Marvel rivals.
Every time you sign up for one of those deals. Because, hey, if you love the Porsche Macan, obviously what you want to do is buy one for Diva in Overwatch because the world's went fucking mad. Sorry, went a bit off script there. The question, though, is what happens to your existing audience when you do all of this stuff? And how long can this tactic actually work? Even back in January of this year, Destiny got Star Wars skins, but what's important to realize is that this expansion is not a response to those skins selling particularly well. You see, with the trailer assets already made.
What probably happened is that they thought about this. Hey, we need to get money. We're going to buy the rights to use some of the IP of Star Wars. We're going to make a bunch of stuff with it. We're going to milk it as much as possible. And that's what happened.
And the Renegades expansion launching in December, there's no way that this licensing agreement wasn't being discussed last year.
Yeah.
Perhaps even before the final shape even released. Now, we know Bungie leadership have been cutting costs, we know the delays to Marathon were costly, and we know that they're under pressure from PlayStation leadership to get results in line with the very expensive cost of the Bungie acquisition. So,
see, here you go.
Like this.
Look at this. This was, so, by the way, this is clear that Sony owns Destiny and Bungie. This is supposed to be Kratos. This is supposed to be Kratos. This is inspired by God of War, but it is not a one-for-one of Kratos or God of War. Just make that very clear. This is Destiny inspired. This is what it needs to be, not what Bungie is currently doing.
Where they could tempt players who otherwise wouldn't have a reason to play
that's
Destiny.
inspired.
Come and check it out. You can see how this could pay off big time, at least in their own theory. But if we really want to see the risk-reward game that they're playing here, we gotta look at everyone's favorite company, Hasbro. Hasbro.
He's mentioning it.
I was going to say it's like the.
See, I'm glad we are literally on the same timeline here, me and Bellular, because I literally said the same thing that this is the Fortnification, and it's just not video games. It's also becoming my favorite card game.
The Nestle of gaming, but I don't think that makes any sense other than.
Though I will say that I really do like, I love the Jurassic World, and I'm going to love the Final Fantasy. And I know I'm part of the problem, so I'm very quick to admit that for the Hasbro side of things.
People really hate both of them. Anyway, they went hard on licensed Universes Beyond sets for Magic the Gathering. They adapted things like Marvel, 40k, and Lord of the Rings. And you know what? Made them a shitload of money. They fundamentally redefined Hasbro's business model for the game, where licensed sets outsold the regular ones by every metric. So commercially...
because I know Magic. So about consumer trust, it's difficult to take you at your word about it when you make vague statements like the player spoke. Who? The responses to this say data show or players want. Don't mean anything if that data is a secret. From what little is public, it just looks like WOTC, that's the owners of Magic, saw dollar signs and went back on their statement. The best-selling booster release, Commander decks, Secret Layers, all Universes Beyond. Universes Beyond is killing it in every metric we use to measure overall player happiness. Mark Rosewater. And just to kind of give you some explanation for people who would like to know, the creators of Magic the Gathering said that this was supposed to be initially Universes Beyond started like with The Walking Dead, and it wasn't legal. It was just supposed to be collectibles, and it was not supposed to be this thing that happens. So, and that's what their general statement was. But now it's becoming where it's legal. You can use it in Commander, you can use it in Standard, you could use it in all forms. Even in their arena, they're making these cards almost the entire set of, if not the entire set of Magic the Gathering. So from what they said to what they're doing now is completely a complete 180, and they lied. They lied about it. And so you're seeing people upset in this community like you're seeing it in Destiny.
Ones by every metric. So commercially it was brilliant. But what's less measurable is the backlash to those sets. Regular players felt left behind and unable to play the game in, the universe that they actually cared about. The Magic one, not say Lord of the Rings or Marvel. And the problem's perhaps especially potent in such a deep game as Magic.
Which is funny, and I'm going to point this out. They're showing you the set that I'm excited for, but Final Fantasy already has its own card game. So a lot of these games already have card game versions of them, but they're now making Magic versions of them. It's kind of funny.
These cards were selling to people who weren't necessarily interested in the game underneath. There's a lot of collector stuff going on. Say, in the same way that not everyone who comes to Destiny for Renegades will stick around for the next expansion. So yes, your number may go up for now, but is that the cohort of players that you want to be signaling to the most? Now, the gamble is that some of those people will hang around, but the risk in trying to win those players via licensed properties is that you lose the ones who loved you for what you authentically are in the first place.
That's the key thing. You're getting casuals, you're getting new players that are here to play the new thing, and then once they realize, oh, well, the rest of the game isn't like this, they're going to be like, peace, I'm out.
I mean, the idea of quick, cheap growth, is it sacrificing slower, sustainable development and slower but sustainable growth for stuff that's cheap, that's fast, that looks good in a quarterly report? I do actually think so. Look, It's not impossible for the very talented writers, artists, and designers at Bungie to do something cool with the themes of Star Wars. And I know, whenever I say very talented, a lot of you will think, what the hell are you on about? That they're able to do anything under seemingly the just shit show that company's been in the last while is kind of impressive. Even if this can fit in right alongside the rest of Destiny and, people will love it and all of that, there will be people who see this news and check out entirely, regardless of whether it's Star Wars inspired or not, because to them, it's a leading indicator of a direction that they don't want the game to go in. So Bungie's newest challenge then is convincing those people that this still is the game that they love, that it will continue to be that even.
I've said it again, I'll say it again. Perception is reality. It doesn't matter what the truth is. If the majority of your player base or community or people who are your consumers see something in a way that you say it's not, but they see it, it doesn't matter. The majority rule when it comes to what is perceived as reality, and it will hit your metrics. It will hurt your bottom dollar.
Even when it's dressed up in a costume from something entirely different. But of course, this is only one front of the war for Bungie. The other front is Marathon. And, well, everything's an extraction shooter. Actually, I'm actually now an extraction shooter. Look, by the time you wake up tomorrow, you may even be an extraction shooter. Marathon's not really had a great time. What's fascinating, though, is Arc Raiders actually seems like it's surprising and delighting people. That's why you should watch this video next, because what's going on with industry trend chasing is properly goddamn fascinating.
All right. So again, this is why I like Bellular. He makes really good videos, very well written. I want to do a video just, by the way, at the end of this, since you're all here who's still watching, I do want to do my videos where I do cool little outros like this and I give credit. Like I just want to do shout outs to my community. Just even if you're like, these are people that probably are paying premium and all that stuff, like support him financially. I just want to start out like that, shouting out people who are part of the community. So I would love to do this. That's my plan for the summer, is to really kind of hone in the community aspect for the channel, and to give back to you guys and shout you out when I can. So side tangent, but yeah, I mean, definitely if you are not subscribed to Bellular News, check him out, like the video. Like I said, I'm not subscribed or not signed into my accounts, or would like the video, but definitely check it out. He makes great content, very based in reality. He's not over the top like I am, which that's just my brand, right? I'm over the top, but sometimes I I do have very calm, cool takes, and I do spit facts. Like, even if I'm over the top, I'm still be spitting facts. I still speak for the gamers. I'm a gamer by the gamers, for the gamers. I advocate for the gamers. That's just what I do. It's just what I do. And I really appreciate my community sticking with me. And man, if you like Destiny, it is hard to support Bungie even now, even with like the marathon stuff. But then the free stuff from Rights of the Nine, but just their general roadmap and what they're trying to do. This is Destiny, the cash grab. As much as I found stuff to criticize about Edge of Fate, and I wasn't really excited about it. At least it's original content, whereas this is cash grab the expansion. And that's a reality that Bungie will never be able to escape because the community it's 50-50. I'm being generous saying it's 50-50. Half of your player base is already seeing it as this is the cash grab. And again, you may think it's not fair, but that's reality is not always fair. And Bungie kind of hasn't done anything to get positive reception. That's the thing. There's nothing going on with Bungie that's really positive at the moment. And that's all Bungie's fault. Let's just make that clear. It's like people aren't hating on Bungie just to hate on Bungie. They literally do it to themselves. You don't even have to hunt. You could throw a dart anywhere in that direction and you're going to hit something negative because Bungie did it themselves. With that being said, I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. Link down to Bellular's video will be down below. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. As always, I'll see you in the next one.